Okay, I freed a lot of storage on my phone, so now I can make longer videos again. We are going to explore. You present your most finely honed smile of confidence and urge Jade to stand. This is no time to mope around. There's plenty of fun to be found without leaving the island. You suggest that perhaps with your help, you can give her the opportunity to explore the temple she's been curious about. Really? That would be super fun! But what about Beck? Oh, there's nothing to worry about. You have a genius plan, you tell her. Tell her to just go ahead over to the temple, and you'll take care of the rest. Okay, if you say so. But please don't do anything to hurt Beck, okay? I love him to bits. You wouldn't dream of it. Not on this route, at least. Jade transportalizes onward, and you turn your attention to Beck, who is idly stuffing one of Jade's plants. You advance him slowly, and with intent, you know what must be done. Pet the dog! You just get right up in there. You pet the hell out of this dog. You employ all your strongest hamper techs like the quick scritch up, the mane massage, and the rare Cuddle brand EX Dog's Might. Yes, pet the dog. Somewhere in the distance, a bluebird observes your masterful display and chirps happily. But suddenly, Beck's head snaps up and he points his snout in the direction of the temple. Whoa there, buddy. Now's no time to be thinking about Jade. Now is belly rubs time. You start rubbing Beck's stomach, and he flops onto his back with his tail wagging and his feet curled up. Who's a good boy? Beck looks up at you, and you see the cosmos reflected in his deep, piercing eyes, and you understand. He's a good boy, and he knows it. After a while longer spent threading your fingers along his silky fur, Beck curls up beside you and yawns, starting to nod off. You kiss him on the forehead and then take the opportunity to slowly stand up and exit the room, letting the sleeping dog lie. You're a little worried about alerting Beck by using your powers. He seems pretty keyed into that kind of space-time manipulation, so you just take the long route to the temple. Jade's Island is a very beautiful place, with rolling hills and lush sun-bathed plains. It looks like an excellent vacation destination, but it's also so bare. There's nothing and nobody around except for the hollow whispers of the wind. You can see how this place would feel much less like paradise after a year spent stranded here. When you reach up to the lake surrounded by the temple, you see that the giant lily pads outside have rearranged themselves like a walkway that you can use to reach it. How strange and convenient! You channel your inner frog and hop across. Hey! Up here! Jade calls down to you. She's at the temple entrance far above your head, waving down at you. Grooves carved into the wall form a ladder that you can use to climb up, and soon you're standing beside her at the entrance to the temple. A huge imposing archway marks the ingress between this sunny island and the dark interior of the ruin from within, and you see a faint yellow-green glow which seems to come from the runes carved into the walls. Spooky. You proceed through the entryway. Jade runs a hand alongside the glowing walls, her face bathed in sickly green. At the end of the hallway is a large, round platform decorated with cloudy designs and glowing orb at the center. It doesn't pique your inner interior decorator, but Jade seems quite awed at the sight. This is Skya! I knew this temple had to be connected to that world in some way. Jade rushes onto the platform and begins to descend. You quickly follow her before you're left behind, and the elevator takes you to an expansive and dark room below. Much like the rest of the temple, the space seems very sparse, and is illuminated by the faint glow of the runes on the walls. A large purple lotus flower rests atop a pedestal in front of the elevator, petals vaulted. There is electronic display built into the pedestal, with a timer that could feasibly count down to 4 million years. but seems to be glitched, stuck in a few hours away with 0 on the seconds digit, constantly racketing back and forth between two numbers. Jade places a hand on the pedestal and sighs. The number is stuck. I think this is a time capsule, but it's malfunctioning for some reason. Was I supposed to open it when the time was right? Now I'll never know. What else could this place be hiding from me? As if on cue, the elevator platform shudders and begins to rise behind you. As the platform extends, it becomes clear that there is a pit beneath it, which is basically a video game logic 101. Jay looks down into it, and he follows suit and see... Transportalizers? There's 2 of them, one deep purple and the other a brilliant gold. Jade leaps onto the pit, which is a pretty brave maneuver because it's deep as hell and real life still has fall damage. She grunts and sinks to her knees on the impact, but quickly recovers and rushes over to the golden transportalizer. She examines it for a moment, and then clambers on with a soft click. The pressure plate is depressed, and the device surges to life. She disappears in a brighter flash of light. Well, shit, you better follow. You hop down and step onto the transportalizer, and the same flash of light consumes your body. You feel something like wind whipping around you as your molecules are deteriorizing, and then reassembled in a new locale. A glimmering golden palace. Wow. This place is way too fucking bright. Someone needs to crank the saturation down pronto. I don't believe it. Jade is looking around with wide eyes to reflect your golden surroundings. This is it! This is Prospect, the planet I visit in my dreams. I didn't think it was possible to get here like this. What does it mean? Why am I allowed to be here right now? I should go talk to the queen. And with that, she's off, sprinting down the halls with a renewed sense of vigor. You scramble up to keep up with her, treading your way through crowds of confused white-shelled folks in fancy outfits. They kind of remind you of yourself, but with gelatinous bodies. You sidestep a lady carrying a paint can and shovel down a lengthy golden staircase adorned with regal golden spikes, and you can barely keep your eyes on Jade's long black hair as it swishes behind her. When you finally catch up, she's in the middle of an argument with 2 burly fellows in white suits. She stamps her foot at them, but they are undeterred, blocking her passage further. Eventually, Jade wheels around to look at you. She tries to soften her expression for your sake, but her face is still sour. The guards won't let me see the queen. Apparently they are really busy with something. They told me I'm not supposed to be in here and I have to leave right away. This is totally bull. I'm a princess. I swear some of these idiots can't even recognize me without the pretty golden dress. Ugh. I guess I'm not getting any answers here either. Let's just get out of here. And she's off again, this time striding forward with her fist curled and her jaw shut. You glance back at the guards, whose furrowed brows strike you more as worry than ire, and then follow Jade back. You're almost to the exit when you see it. A dark figure silhouetted against sky is brilliant blue. They are humanoid in shape, with 2 leathery wings outstretched and inky black tendrils trailing behind. Crimson force crackles in their wake, and they swoop over the city like a bird of prey. Something about them gives all a major case of the heebie-jeebies. You do a nervous little half-jog back to the transportizer and get the hell out of Dodge. The temple feels aggressively dark compared to the brightening light of the Prospect. You spend a while blinking as your eyes readjust. The transportizer you just used flares up red and then cracks. That's probably not a good sign, is it? You do what you do best, ignore it, and then climb out of the pit. Jade is sitting beside the Lotus contraption, running her hand along one of the pedals with her face set. What does all this mean? Was it here all along? Has my grandpa been to Prospect before? I can go there. It must still exist. The game must still exist, but how? None of it makes any sense. I need to think about this. You follow Jade slowly back to her house as she mumbles to herself, brows furrowed. You can barely catch up to what she's saying, and she's clearly thinking hard. The cuts have never been so wrong before. Is it too early? Was this meant to happen? Once you reach the atrium, Jade lets out a sharp breath and nods her head. Resolute. She turns to you. I think I understand. I know what's going on now. Great, you offer her your most winning smile. Let's switch. Well, the truth is, I was always being very immature about the idea of being a hero and having a destiny. Life isn't like it in kids' cartoons after all. Heroism isn't all rainbows and sunshine, and it's childish to think that everyone gets a happy ending. That kind of storybook stuff doesn't really exist. To be a real hero, you have to be prepared to suffer horribly. Uh-huh. It makes sense that you think about it. If everything came out easily, there wouldn't be anything. Why else would my grandpa have put me on this island? Why else would Beck want to keep me safe even here now everything's changed? It's because it's my destiny. I have to prove that I'm willing to suffer and willing to sacrifice. This has to be it. This can't all have been for nothing, right? That's not the way the world works. Everything has a purpose, even if it's not clear at first. Seeing Prospect in the flesh reminded me of that. My purpose is to do what I've always done, and my grandpa and Beck have helped prepare me for. I know I'll be really lonely, but in the end it means that everything will continue to play out as it's meant to be. It's a very noble job, and I've got to be the one to do it. You're at a loss for words. That really doesn't feel like it's going to be the right takeaway from all this, but you don't know a jack about suburb or destiny or any of that nonsense. Who are you to say otherwise? So thank you for helping me visit Prospect. I wouldn't have figured all this out if not for you. I'm sure that meeting me is one step along the way towards your mysterious fate as well. I'll be rooting for you. Trinity rubs into a broad, beaming smile. It might be the first completely genuine smile you've seen from her this entire time. But that doesn't make you feel any better about it. In fact, it's more of a knife twisting in your gut, and when she throws her arms around you and hugs you tight, the knife pushes deeper to the bone. Well, you probably have more important stuff to do than hanging out with me. I'll let you get back to it. Shay turns around and heads for the staircase, leaving you to stare at her retreating form. Is this it? Will you accept the new destiny you've written for Jade and allow her to stay trapped here on this island? Some people might take this as a lesson in the responsible use of reality-altering powers. Some people might swear off manipulating canon entirely, but not you. What's the point of having sick-ass powers if all of it is never to use them? Maybe some god is going to punish you for the very way you've been fucking with the universe, but right now you don't care. This girl could burn herself to ashes to keep her friends warm. The least you can do is risk the flames for her sake. You quickly run up the stairs. Oh, you're not leaving? Don't you have places to be? I'll be fine here alone, I promise. It's my duty. I'll get used to it eventually. You can't imagine she's okay with it, no matter what she says. Does she really want to stay alone for the rest of her life? Well, of course not. What I want is to explore the world and hang out with my pals. That's not about what I want. It's about doing what has to be done. That's what it has always been for me. Well, that's bullshit. Huh? Maybe Jade's fate dictates she'll never play the game she wanted to play. Maybe heroes don't get to have a happy ending. That doesn't mean heroes can't be happy. There comes a time in every young woman's life, you tell Jade, where she can't leave home because her pet is an overprotective god. Okay, that's obviously not true, but there comes a time in many young women's lives where circumstances belong to control leave them without an escape. Perhaps it's easier to believe that the escape will never come, but you can't let Jade do that. Life has you stuck at home, perhaps. Okay. You can still hold on to hope. You can fight no matter how long you have to wait. You can keep looking for another chance to see the world. If the universe tells you to sit, stay, and roll over, you will look at the universe dead in the eyes and ask, who do you think is the master around here? Then you tell it to motherfucking heal. Yeah, you're right. Even though I was still being childish, it was easier to tell myself to be miserable for a noble cause instead of holding on to the hope and maybe getting hurt again. But I have to have hope. That's who I am. I'm a hoper, not a moper. I'll still keep trying to convince Beck that it'll be safe for me to leave the island. Things have changed, and maybe it doesn't realize it yet. He's still kind of a silly, dumb dog at times, but he loves me, and I love him, and we can work it out. Maybe it'll take a while, but I'll definitely figure things out. And while I wait, you'll come visit me sometimes, won't you? Of course you will. You're not in the habit of abandoning your friends. That idea is unthinkable. You promise Shay that you will come visit her. Come visit? Come visit! A light bulb goes off in your head. One of those cool LED bulbs. The kind that syncs up to your phone and changes colors and spies on you for the government. Party time! You asked Jade if she's ever had a slumber party. A slumber party? No, I've never had one. It sounds exciting, but is it a really party with just 2 people and a dog? Well, sounds more like a mild slumber hangout. Don't worry about it, you tell her. Just start getting the place ready for a bash. Pull out the sleeping bags, conjure up some lightly irradiated snacks, pump up the fresh jams, etc, etc. I don't know if we even have a sleeping bag, but okay. I'll see what I can do. Maybe there's something useful in my grandpa's old supply. You shoot her a confident salute, and then dissolve into the ether of a can. Alright, Egbert, up and at 'em, it's party time. John yelps and tumbles out of his chair, crashing to the ground in an unidentified heap. It looks like he was in the middle of debugging some code on his computer when you interrupted him. He distendles his limbs and stands up with a groan. Okay, Magic Man, we need to get some things straight. Your powers are extremely cool, but using them like this is kinda lame. Jump scares rank very low on the prank scale. They don't take any effort. They are just sort of mean and annoying. You apologize for scaring John. You're just in a very excited mood right now because it's time for a motherfucking slumber party. Oh, cool. I've never been to a slumber party before. Who is it with? He grinned. Don't you already know who with, John? The American Association of Mailmen? You give him a blank stare. Alright, probably my other friends. That one should have been obvious. There you go, John. You tell him to back up whatever supplies he thinks you should bring, and then get ready for another whirlwind ride through space-time. I don't know. I should probably do the responsible thing and let my dad know I'm going to go on a trip, even if I'll be back soon. Okay, that's fine, you tell him. But don't take too much time. This route already getting pretty long. Cool. Okay, what should I bring? Oh, I need to grab some movies, definitely. Dave will be there, right? I should bring some McConaughey movies. So he realizes I was right all along with Matthew's stellar acting. Oh, and of course some snacks. This is a great time for me to unload all the excess birthday cakes my dad made me. Seriously, there were hundreds of them in the fridge. It's highly ridiculous. He'll wait patiently in John's room as he goes downwards to fetch the bounty of cakes, talk to his dad, and do all of his other preparation. It takes forever. You're not really sure what he's doing down there. You think he might be walking around, examining all the objects in his home in great detail, and solving a bunch of puzzles? Come on, John, that's not the right genre of game. Get your shit together. Okay, ready! Alright. Step 2 is to get to Rose. You take John's hand and zap the two of you into Rose's mansion. John spends while goggling at the giant statue of Zazarpan the Learned. Then you ascend the staircase towards Rose's room and knock on the door. Her voice comes from within, slightly muffled. You're home early. I've been hearing strange noises from the neighboring lab of late. Have you? Rose opens the door and freezes. John? Her eyes widen, and she slowly steps backwards, which John takes as an invitation to stride right into her room. Her cheeks darken, and she scans the room, eyes flickering from mess to mess. Surprise, Rose! We are here to steal you away like an owl who kidnaps Harry Potter. That's not... She sighs and turns to you. Care to explain the sudden intrusion? It is normally considered polite to call ahead, especially when one is possessed of reality-bending powers. Oh, don't be melodramatic. That's probably nothing too embarrassing in this room. This is so fun. John furrows his brow as he glances around the room, eyes sweeping over the walls. He eventually settles on some pictures you have hung up. I mean, look at these great drawings. Did you do those? That was so cool. I didn't know you drew stuff. Rose gives him the smile of a girl whose soul is just shuffled into a blackened husk. Again, an explanation would be nice. They explain that you've come to collect Jade's friends for a slumber party. I see. The commercial and critical failure of Suburb must have impacted her more strongly than anticipated. She was really looking forward to playing that game with us. Yeah, that's putting it lightly, probably. I would hate to disappoint her further. Consider this my RSVP. Rose gives you a curt nod, then turns to frown at John, who is poking around under her bed. Something tugs at the corner of her mouth. John, my mother is busy and will not be expected to return for a while. Why don't you and our strange friend go analyze her room instead? I need time to pack. Oh, okay, Rose. Whatever you say. This is so fun. I love it. They're all getting together. We're gonna have a big party. It's officially a harem now. I'm kidding. I'm half kidding, okay. Dave is in my harem. Maybe John/June. I don't know if I should be technically calling her June or John. I mean, in this universe, obviously she's John, but there's also like I'm still kind of confused on like the whole June John thing. I'm just going to within the text, when he is referred as John, I'll refer to him as John, and when I'm referred to as June, I'll refer to her as June. I'm not really all caught up into Homestuck, so I'm not exactly sure if there's any like subtext in there that would canonize the fact that she's a trans woman. I hope that there is, but for now I'm going to remain sort of gender fluidy on the situation. But anyways, Rose shoves you out of her room with much more strength than you expected from a 13-year-old girl and shuts the door hard. Man, I hope Rose realizes that I was being serious when I said her drawings were good. We tease each other a lot, but she's really cool. John's speaking loudly enough that Rose can almost certainly hear him from the other side of the door. You think he knows that, but you don't say anything, except to casually suggest that you and John go wade downstairs and admire all the ridiculous wizard art. He agrees. God, this house is so weird. Who needs a giant statue of a wizard? Where do they even get this? Oh, and speaking of weird, I didn't want to bring this up with Rose in case it's some funny story I'm not in on. What's with all the writing and her? But John trails off as Rose descends the stairs with a neat packed bag. I think I'm gonna end this at around 30-ish minutes. Shall we? We shall, you say, with a hand on each of their shoulders, so you close your eyes and concentrate on the Strider apartment. Hell yeah, Strider time! I'm gay. Okay. You're aiming for the hallway outside the front door, but this power is still taking some getting used to. So instead you pop up into existence right on top of Dave's bed. His disgruntled. He's tapping away at something on his computer, and as soon as you appear, his entire body tenses up. He barely had a moment to react before Dave wheels around in his chair and flings a handful of shurikens at you. One of them grazes Rose's cheek so closely, a strand of pale hair flutters to the ground. She turns to look at the weapon, now embedded in the wall, and runs a finger alongside the edge of the blade, squinting. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Surprise! Okay. Roll 1 on time travel or dimension hopping. Don't fucking pull that kind of shit. I mean, seriously. Under any circumstances, I'd be shitting my fucking nuts off about the opportunity to chill with my best bro. But dude, you can't just drop a guy's besties into the middle of his room out of nowhere like this. This is an extreme social faux pas. You gotta give some guy a process. Don't be melodramatic, Dave. I assure you, there is nothing present in this room that could make us think lesser of you. If Rose was scarred by that near-death experience just now, she doesn't show it. She hops off the bed and glances around. If you left any pornography out, it will only serve to confirm the hypothesis I have already made. Dude, are those selfies? Are you doing that duck face in that one? Oh man. Oh, for fuck's sake, John. You get all VIP access backstage pass, and the first thing you do is insult my stuff. Like some rowdy tool at a Nickelback concert rummaging through their closets instead of doing the musical World of Faither and assassinating them. Well, yeah. Why would you do the same, dude? Touché. But anyways, aside from you getting your grubby hands all over my pristine collection of cool swords, what the hell are y'all doing here? We're having a slumber party. Are you in? Oh, I don't know. Bro's basically always keeping tabs on me. He wants me to be safe, you know? Or rather wants me to be the only in the right kind of danger to teach me lessons about irony and being a dope-ass fucking ninja. It's all pretty intense supervision, is the point being made here. Was already getting some rank vibes from him after that little jaunt over to Olive Garden. Actually, the vibe's been off ever since John's B-Day, if I'm being honest. So, I don't know how he'd feel about me gallivanting off to some magical snooze adventure with Slappy the time-traveling mailman. Seems like the kind of thing he'd take issue with. Aw, come on, he can't be that bad. What kind of guy won't let his brother go hang out with his friends? Yeah, I guess. He's a pretty shitty kind of guy if he did that. Why? Dave stares off into the middle distance for a while. Rose observes him intensely. Look, Dave, I don't think it would feel right if we all had a big party and you weren't there. Jade would really miss you. As would we. Yeah. Dave glances fervently around the room as if he's expecting a camera to blink at him from one of the corners. Alright, I'm in. Just let me grab some sups. That's supplies for short. Hey, man, what shit's Hell Dog like? Do I need to bring one of those cool-ass swords? Cool? These swords are like $5 Chinatown swords, aren't they? What? No. Okay, listen. Well, Dave grabs his stuff and John heckles him affectionately. Rose's attention has been drawn back to the shuriken Dave threw at her. He strolled over and asked her what's up. She responds with her own question. Have you been introduced to Dave's brother? Not yet. You've heard a lot about him, though. For the sake of diplomacy, you only briefly touch on the opinion you formed. He certainly seems like a fascinating man. The kind of individual whose brain I would love to pick apart to find out just what twisted mechanisms fire off within its chambers. So that's what she's thinking about, Dave's bro? Rose chews on her bottom lip. Not exactly, but an adjacent topic. I'm mulling over the ethical quandaries presented by the existence of powers a stork. What? It's nothing to concern yourself with yet. We have a party to attend, apparently. Right. Dave is done packing up. You open both palms and suggest that everyone hold hands so you can best channel your powers. Really? Holding hands? God, this is so lame. But he doesn't, and when he claps John and Rose's hands, he shifts around and blushes faintly in a manner that suggests he doesn't really think it's so lame. In fact, he may think it's the exact opposite of lame. He may think it's rad. My baby! And he'd be right. Friendship is the raddest thing of them all. You're full of warm and fuzzy friend feelings as you teleport back to Jade's atrium. Wait, no, there's just the feeling of your body dissolving and reconstructing itself halfway across canon. There are very similar feelings. You head to the base of the staircase where you call out to Jade. Her guests have arrived, you tell her. Jade rushes down the stairs and nearly trips over her skirt. Her expression is tight and anxious, and when she sees your motley crew standing there, she freezes up. Her breath hitches in a half sob. You really did bring them. They're here. They're all here. Jade breaks into a wide grin and sprints forward, launching herself at a missile at her friends. Dave throws himself bodily out of the way, and Rose takes an alarm stick back, leaving John to bear the full blood of her affections. She crashes into him, and the two of them go spinning around and around as Jade laughs breathlessly. Whoa, calm down there, Jade. It's nice to see you too. Tears are beating in her eyes as she squeezes him tight and then pecks his cheek with a soft kiss. Oh, John, I'm so happy to see you in person. And walking in person with everything. I've seen so much time watching you sleep. What? Jade swings around to look at the other two pals. Come on, you two. Get over here. We're having a 4 times hug combo right now. Rose and Dave cautiously step forward, and Jade, with John's help, yanks them both into a tight embrace. She smooches them on the cheeks, too. Rose's face tights up with blush, and Dave nearly goes catatonic. When Jade pulls back, she's clutching John's hand and tugging so hard as she might pull the damn thing off. Come on, everyone, let's go upstairs. I found a bunch of military-grade sleeping bags and Grandpa's old adventuring gear you can set up in my room. We can play with all my toys and jam out to some music and stay up all night chatting with each other. And oh my god, you're all here. Oh my god, this is really happening. Jade's next laugh verges on hysterical, and she's got tears streaked down her cheeks. Dave looks a little perturbed. Wow, holy shit, it's cool, Jade. No need to get so like that. Gonna fix me up seeing you cry? Not that I'm trying to make this all about me. Dave, you're doing a horrible job of comforting her. Jade, come here.